A new plan to improve safety is on the table, and a new welcome sign has been unveiled for the city of Jamestown. Plus, for the first time in 3 years, an antique boat show returned to Chautauqua Lake.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, a Jamestown man was coincidentally caught fleeing the scene of an accident early Saturday morning. Jamestown police were patrolling Crescent Street when they noticed a vehicle driving with no lights at around 2:12 a.m. on June 24th. After stopping the car, police determined that the driver, 69-year-old Douglas Smith, had hit a parked automobile about 100 yards away and was attempting to flee the scene. Smith was released on site, but was charged with leaving the scene of a property damage accident, along with several other vehicle and traffic offenses, and is due in the Jamestown City Court at a later date. No one was injured during the accident, and the owner of the struck parked car has been notified by the Jamestown Police. Well, a new Jamestown welcome sign is now on display on the city's northern entrance. The project, 25 years in the making, was made possible due to donations from the Jamestown Rotary Club, totaling $63,000 for the construction of the sign. It was partially funded by the Rotary Club, which raised $25,000 towards the project, with the rest coming in through donations. The design focuses on aspects of the Pearl City, using slopes to represent the river and materials like old railroad ties, wood from the Grand Cathedral oaks, and the famous Jamestown bricks. Construction of the sign started in fall of 2022. Well, the Jamestown Airport's master plan has been completed as of this month, comprising of multiple projects. Now this plan will be the guide for the airport's next 2 decades. Our Alyssa Wright joins us live in the studio today with more. Alyssa?
Bronson, there are numerous areas for growth, and those involved are looking forward to the future of the airport.
This is the final public meeting that we're hosting to show the community what we've come up with in this master plan process. A master plan process is led by the FAA. It is a project that dictates the next 20 years.
The plan recognizes the areas that need some improvement.
So one thing that this airport, that we've come through on this process is some areas of development that we have found to help the airport, that will in turn help the airport grow.
Over the next 20 years, there are several projects the engineering team is looking forward to implementing.
We will see some growth over the next 20 years, we're forecasting. So there are some unique areas for potential aircraft to be based here, more taxi lanes, more apron space, another fuel farm. We've even looked at another turf runway and have that listed on our airport layout plan.
To accomplish everything the plan lays out, the FAA will have to approve each project.
Everything on that airport layout plan that we devise at the end of this process is what kind of guides the airport. And for the FAA to go through that process of funding these projects, you'll need justification to make sure that it is a justified project, but it has to be on that ALP to kind of help the process along.
These improvements are projected to happen over the course of the next 20 years, and staff and engineers alike are very excited about the projects ahead.
All right, Alyssa, thank you very much. After a 3-year hiatus, Bemis Point Antique Boat Show has returned over the weekend. Now dozens of boats, decades old, line the village park, with many more in the water. Some boats dated back all the way to 1950, with one showgoer having motors dated from 1913. The Antique Boat Show is not only a day for people to view the old boats, but also to see the history that has been on Chautauqua Lake.
I think if you look around at the history of what went on and has gone on in Chautauqua Lake for many, many years, this is evidence that the boats go back a long way in time. All you have to do is take a trip to the Lawson Center, and you can see and learn an awful lot about what goes on here.
Now, this is the first time that the show has returned since the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, switching gears a little bit, we'll get a check of our first weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson. And today has seemed a bit weird with how weather has been going.
It's been actually quite busy this morning. Busy this morning in the First Defense Weather Center. We've had showers and thunderstorms moving through the area all morning. The good news is none of these storms have been severe, but we've had to issue, the National Weather Service has issued a couple of special weather statements. One of them is for Chautauqua County right now, so I'll pause the radar. Special weather statement will run until 12:15 p.m., although this might be extended past 12:15 p.m. for this severe thunderstorm. Not severe thunderstorm, for this sub-severe thunderstorm moving into Chautauqua County right now, moving, I think it was moving northeast about 40 miles per hour, wind gust about 50 miles per hour, and pea-sized hail. Again, this is not a severe thunderstorm, but it does contain some gusty winds and some heavy downpours, and that is moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So hopefully these storms will continue to be sub-severe today. The almanac for today, we made it to a high of 82 degrees yesterday in the city of Jamestown. Our low was 60. The record high for today, 95, set back in 1952, and the record low of 35, set back in 1979. So here's your First Defense weather forecast for the rest of the afternoon out there. Mostly cloudy skies with periods of showers and storms throughout the afternoon. Some of those storms could contain some gusty winds, heavy downpours, and even some small hail. And it will be another muggy day out there with highs today in the lower 70s near the lakeshore to the mid to upper 70s inland, and with those dew points also in the 60s. It's going to be feeling quite muggy out there. I'll have a look at that full forecast, including another update on the radar coming up in the full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, we'll get that in just a few minutes. As WNY News Now continues, we look at what the New York governor is doing to protect a beloved Pride Parade. And later, lawmakers want to put taxes on electric vehicles. Stay with us. The WNY News Now will be right back.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Legislation authorizing the governor to sign the Seneca Nation of Indians Gaming Compact is yet to pass in both houses of the legislature. Now our New York State Capitol correspondent Elise Klein breaks down the issue and talks to lawmakers about what happens next.
This week, New York State lawmakers adjourned session without passing a bill in both houses to pre-authorize the governor to sign the gaming compact between Seneca Nation of Indians and the state.
Yeah, I think we have a long history of ups and downs with our relationships with different tribal nations, and any opportunity we can to improve that relationship should be taken. And if that means we're going to take our time to do it right, then so be it.
The current compact, which allows Seneca Nation to operate their casinos, is set to expire this upcoming December. The Senate passed this bill nearly 2 weeks ago, but last Friday, Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie announced the Assembly will not be voting on this legislation. And that's exactly what happened. The Assembly wrapped up session without debating or voting on the Seneca Compact bill. Some lawmakers say the possibility of a new casino in Rochester is one of the roadblocks to this legislation.
The folks that represent the Rochester area feel very strongly that a new casino there, sort of out of the blue, without public input, without any sort of dialogue with the community, it just isn't. It's a non-starter.
Holding off a vote on the Seneca Compact bill, some lawmakers say could influence taking the Rochester casino off the table in the compact's negotiations.
So it's our hope with the opposition that's been expressed, bipartisan opposition, I might add, that the governor's office will listen, and that the governor, maybe she's recusing herself from the negotiations, as she claims, directs her negotiators no casino in the Rochester Finger Lakes area.
Negotiations between Seneca Nation and the state are ongoing. Some lawmakers say it's a possibility they will have to return to Albany for a special session. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
And now we are joined at our news desk with our intern, Hannah Crosley, with a story that she wrote today about Governor Hochul signing equality laws into legislation. Hannah?
Yesterday morning, Governor Kathy Hochul signed groundbreaking legislation to safeguard and affirm the LGBTQ+ community prior to her joining in the New York City's annual Pride March festivities. The New York State Governor signed a new law making New York a safe haven for the trans community by guaranteeing New York will protect trans youth, their parents, and their doctors. She also signed a law to protect trans rights to access addiction treatment and rehabilitation, in addition to 3 new laws to update legal New York documents to remove outdated and stigmatizing vocabulary. Governor Hochul is leading the nation in LGBTQ+ community protection by signing these new inclusive laws into action.
We're also requiring gender-neutral terms in our laws because why not? Why not? Why not? That's all you have to say is why not? It's a new day is right. It's a new day, Billy. Billy says it's a new day. I think there's a song about the new day coming. Okay? All right, Bill? There will be. All right. Also, we're going to be requiring gender-neutral language on state websites and requiring substance abuse services in accordance with treatment related to your gender identity. Because we have a lot of people suffering out there.
Started as a tribute to when, in 1960, police raided a gay club in New York City called the Stonewall Inn. Pride Day itself is June 28th.
All right, Hannah, thank you very much for that update. Well, in other news, most electric vehicle owners in Pennsylvania are unaware that they have to pay a tax for charging their vehicle each month. It's called the Alternative Fuel Tax and is essentially Pennsylvania's gas tax, but for electric vehicles, or EVs. The taxes generate revenue for road and bridge repairs through Pennsylvania's Motor License Fund. However, lawmakers say only about 10% of EV owners actually pay the alternative fuel tax. Now, some are proposing an annual electric vehicle fee instead. Senate Bill 656 would eliminate the alternative fuel tax and replace it with a flat fee of $90.
Yeah, if you think about it right now, it's going to generate over $20 million. As we go to more and more vehicles that are electric based, that number could go to 100 million or $1 billion.
Now, this bill could also generate additional infrastructure dollars. According to PennDOT data, there were over 5 times the number of registered electric vehicles in 2022 than in 2018. While another round of bad weather could be hitting millions of Americans sometimes today. More than 90 million people under threat of severe storms in mid-Atlantic and Northeast are under a level 3 of 5 risk and could see multiple rounds of thunderstorms. Other areas, including New York City, Boston, and Atlanta, are also at risk. In addition to thunder, the region could see damaging winds and large hail. This is the same storm system that produced nearly 400 storm reports Sunday and left nearly 500,000 customers without power. Well, coming up, we look at legislation to combat a nasty invasive species, the spotted lanternfly, and later, some major political upsets in Russia as a major military revolt occurred over the weekend. But first, we return with a look at our full weather forecast.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
15-year-old Yadiel Diaz was subject to a public humiliation stunt by a fellow student in an act of violence and bullying. Now Yadiel's mother, Raquel, has had enough.
Officials are trying to work with the county's homeless coalition to help support the homeless population locally. There are also plans in the works to build 2 new shelters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking, let's go. You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently downtown Jamestown, we're under cloudy skies right now, but there's some more rain and thunderstorms on the way, and I'll show you on radar in just a moment. Current temperature at the Jamestown Airport, 71 degrees as of the noon hour with a south wind of 9 miles per hour and a dew point quite muggy out there, currently stated at 65. Here's an update of radar, and at 12:15 p.m. the National Weather Service in Buffalo allowed that special weather statement to expire, and they did not extend it. Still, the span of shower and thunderstorms could contain some heavy rain, definitely some lightning, as well as some gusty winds, and this band of shower and thunderstorms will continue to move across the area over the next few hours. Now, the NOAA Storm Prediction Center does have portions of the region today under a marginal risk for severe weather that's going out farther east across portions of Cattaraugus and Allegheny County. And the marginal risk for severe storms could contain some storms with heavy rain, some strong gusty winds over 58 miles per hour, and possibly some small hail. And as Bronson said in a previous package, portions of the East Coast are actually under an enhanced risk for severe weather today that could include some strong winds and some large hail and possibly even a couple of tornadoes. Thankfully, we do not have to deal with that across our region today. Across the Northeast right now, here's that low pressure system currently spinning over Michigan. That's what's responsible for these rounds of showers and thunderstorms today, and will pretty much be responsible for the next few days as it will slowly move across the area tomorrow, and eventually by Wednesday it will be moving out of the area. So by the middle of the week we should be starting to dry out. So let's type it out on Future Scan. Future Scan does a good job showing this band of showers and thunderstorms moving through right now, and that will continue to move through the rest of the afternoon. And after this band moves through, we should quiet down later this afternoon and evening, heading into the overnight hours. All the instability will calm down. Should be a mostly cloudy night tonight, maybe a couple of showers or thunderstorms still, and we'll do the same thing throughout the day tomorrow. mostly cloudy skies with a couple showers, maybe a few isolated thunderstorms possible through the afternoon tomorrow, and then into tomorrow night and on Wednesday. A few showers left over Wednesday morning, and then high pressure will begin to build in, and that will dry us out through the rest of the week. So here's your forecast again for tonight. A few showers or thunderstorms still possible, but it should trend drier overnight. Another muggy night for sleeping with overnight lows only in the 60s, so make sure you have those fans and those air conditioners going, because you're going to need it with a south wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour. And now the extended forecast powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So we're in this unsettled pattern at least through the middle of the week, but high pressure will begin to build in, and that should dry us out for Thursday and Friday with temperatures in the 70s, and we should be mainly dry through the weekend, although there are chances for a few showers possible Saturday and Sunday.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. And be sure to download our app on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. In case there is any severe weather, we will let you know as soon as anything happens. And now for some headlines from around the nation. A bipartisan group of congressional lawmakers are teaming up against an invasive species, the spotted lanternfly. It's been around areas like Pennsylvania and New York for a couple of years now. But lawmakers worry the damage that this invasive species can do to our economy and food. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
This is an invasive species. It's really taking over. It's grown to such great proportions. It can destroy entire crops.
Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Kelly is referring to the spotted lanternfly. It's native to China, but was first detected in Pennsylvania in September 2014. It has since spread to 51 counties in the state. Lawmakers say studies estimate the destructive species could cost the state $324 million a year if they are not contained, ravaging crops critical to the state's economy. To address this issue, members introduced legislation that would designate the spotted lanternfly as an invasive species that poses a significant threat to our nation's agriculture economy as a high-priority research initiative for the National Institute of Food and Agriculture. Representative Kelly is one of the co-sponsors of the legislation in the House. Both the Pennsylvania Senators Bob Casey and John Fetterman, along with both of New York Senators Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand, are sponsoring it in the Senate. Senator Casey says in part the legislation will provide Pennsylvanians with resources to combat the spotted lanternfly's spread, mitigate its impact, and protect our food sources and our families.
What we're looking for is an investment in finding out what we can do to eliminate it. I don't know that that would be the legislative piece of it. It would be the Farm Bill. Somehow it's in there, and ask for a more intense look at what's going on, put science to work on this and see what we can do to do it. So our request would be for an investment for the people that know how to work with these things and let them do their job.
Lawmakers and officials say if you see the spotted lanternfly, to do your part by squashing and killing it. At the U.S. Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
Authorities in Montana have identified some of the material that leaked when a train derailed in Stillwater County Saturday morning. That's in the south central part of the state. The rail-linked train was on a bridge crossing the Yellowstone River when the span collapsed and several tankers leaked into the river. The company says those cars contained molten sulfur and asphalt. Montana Rail Links say that no one was hurt in the incident. Workers are still assessing the damage and potential environmental impact the derailment may have caused. An investigation into the underway to figure what happened. Well, there's a growing doubt over Putin's grip on power. After 36 hours of chaos, the mercenary rebellion inside Russia appears to be over for now, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions. We haven't heard much from Putin after the mutiny threatened the regime. Another big question right now, where is the Wagner mercenary boss who led the revolt? Now, the mercenary's current whereabouts are unknown after he halted his march on Moscow and supposedly struck a deal with the Kremlin to go into exile. Well, coming up next, severe weather is affecting the entire East Coast. We get an in-depth view next.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
but I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Now this week is starting with severe weather in the south central U.S. and mid-Atlantic. While some parts of the country have extreme heat, others have possible tornadoes, heavy rain, and flash flooding. John Lornick reports.
Abilene, Texas, where it's been so hot, cookies can be baked without an oven.
It's a pretty brutal heat wave that we're going through, and it hasn't let up for the last couple of weeks.
More than 50 million people from Arizona to Louisiana are coping with, quote, oppressive temperatures, some hitting 100 degrees or higher, according to the Weather Prediction Center.
This is a very dangerous sort of heat wave, and with the humidity mixed in, there's really not even any relief in the evening period as well.
Forecasters say the higher than usual temps will likely spread to the Mississippi Valley and continue through the July 4th holiday. Cooling centers have been set up in some areas of Texas to try and keep residents as safe as possible.
We have launched our Beat the Heat campaign and making sure that people know the resources that are available if they need to get into a cool place. You know, libraries and community centers, senior centers are all open, and encouraging folks obviously to be advised about the signs of heat-related illness.
Meanwhile, major storms with hail, wind, and possible tornadoes struck more in Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana, where some houses suffered significant damage this weekend. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Now, the southern storms left more than 725,000 customers in the dark as of Sunday night, according to poweroutage.us. Now, Andrew is over there working very hard on new updates that came up even just minutes ago. I know he's not on screen now, but we can hear him. Andrew, is there any update that you can give to us?
Yes, a severe thunderstorm warning was just issued. Let me grab it here. Been very busy in the weather office this morning. One second here. So yes, they extended the special weather statement for all of Chautauqua, or I should say western Chautauqua County and the portions of Cattaraugus County, and that will go until 1:15 p.m. I'm trying to grab radar up here to get it on radar, but let's see. I might have it up here now. Yes, I think we have it. Maybe.
There we are.
Yes, they extended the special weather statement for portions of Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, and southern Erie County, and that will go until 1:15 p.m. with this storm moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. There could be some pea-sized hail in this storm as well as gusts of over 40 miles per hour. Now, it's not showing up here, but they did issue a severe thunderstorm warning for up in the Erie County near the lake shore, where the severe thunderstorm was located near Silver Creek, moving 10 miles near Silver Creek, moving northeast of Dunkirk at 35 miles per hour. That severe thunderstorm warning contains 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and you can expect damage to trees and power lines. Again, that's for the immediate Lake Erie shoreline in Erie County. Chautauqua County is not under severe thunderstorm warning. That is for portions of Erie County up in the Buffalo area.
All right, Andrew. And in your expert opinion, how do you think this storm is going to turn out for our area?
Eventually, these storms should calm down through the afternoon. We weren't really expecting, we didn't have the ingredients really for severe weather, but Mother Nature does what she wants. Of course, I'll be posting updates on Facebook and social media throughout the afternoon, and should coverage warrant, I will go live with severe thunderstorm warnings if it happens across our portions of the southern tier.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. But that's all the time that we have for you today. We will leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake, and it doesn't look too bad yet.